Etymology and historical origin of the baby name Eliza. Eliza developed as a pet form for the name Elizabeth as far back as the 16th century. By the 18th and 19th centuries, Eliza was a popular given name in its own right. The name Elizabeth has been around since the Middle Ages, mainly popularized by the French, using the spelling Elizabeth. Elizabeth with a Z is the typical spelling in English. Elizabeth is found in the Bible, Luke 1 verse 57, as the mother of John the Baptist. The name is essentially Greek, Elizabeth, from the Hebrew, Elisheva, meaning God is my oath. Elizabeth became popularized during the late medieval period as a given name, mostly influenced by two saints, St. Elizabeth of Hungary and St. Elizabeth of Portugal. It was brought to England by the French, and the English can be credited with the formation of Eliza as a nickname. The French use Elise. By the early 20th century, George Bernard Shaw would use the name Eliza Doolittle for his heroine in the play Pygmalion, 1913, which would later become the basis for the enormously popular musical and film My Fair Lady, 1956. Eliza Doolittle was the lovable, feisty Cockney girl who Professor Higgins turned into the beautiful, charming and intelligent lady he passed among the aristocracy in London. A modern-day Cinderella story of its time, Pygmalion helped influence the popularity of Eliza as an independently given name. Eliza is currently most popular in Australia, where it's ranked on the top 50 list of most commonly used girl names. Personality of the girl name Eliza. The number 8 personality has everything to do with power, wealth and abundance. Somehow, this personality has been blessed on the material plane, but their authoritative and problem-solving traits provide evidence that their good fortunes are not just the luck of the lottery. They are well-earned. This is the personality of CEOs and high-ranking military personnel. 8s are intensely active, hard-driving individuals. Success is only meaningful to them after a job well done. They are remarkable in their ability to see the larger picture right down to the smallest details and organize a strategy around success. They then have the ability to direct a group around them toward any goal and realize individual potential to get the most out of their team. Popularity of the girl name Eliza. The name Eliza has been on the American naming charts for girls since the U.S. government began tracking naming trends in 1880. In fact, it was back then that Eliza was at the height of her popularity on the top 100 list of most commonly used girl names. As we entered the 20th century, the name slowly declined in usage as a given name, although it was still widely used as a nickname for Elizabeth. The low point of Eliza's popularity came in the late 1950s through the 1960s, when she would even drop off the charts altogether. It wouldn't be until the 1990s and the turn of the 21st century before we would see this lovely name regain some of her past glory days. It's still not as popular as it was in the 1880s, but Eliza is making progress toward the top 200 list. It's a much more informal version of Elizabeth, making it an unpretentious and appealing choice. It also shares the same antique charm as names like Emma, Olivia, and Ava. It's not as overused as some of these now popular old-fashioned names, making it a more unique choice for girls today. Eliza is a name that can go from feisty to graceful in a moment's notice. Quick facts on Eliza. Gender, girl. Origin, English. Number of syllables, 3. Ranking popularity, 200. Pronunciation, Eliza. Simple meaning, God is my oath. Characteristics of Eliza. Problem solver, authoritative, tough, powerful, tenacious, wealthy, achiever. Cultural references to the baby name Eliza. Literary characters of the baby name Eliza. Eliza Doolittle is the protagonist of George Bernard Shaw's 1912 play, Pygmalion, later made into a 1938 British movie starring Wendy Hiller. In 1956, it was reworked into the memorable Broadway musical, My Fair Lady, starring Julie Andrews, with the film adaptation arriving in 1964, starring Audrey Hepburn. All of the above, of course, is based upon the mythological story of Pygmalion, the sculptor, who falls in love with the statue of a woman he has carved and whom Venus turns into a real woman for him. Eliza Doolittle herself is one of the most delightful of fictional heroines, a Cockney flower vendor with definitive ideas. She puts herself under the tutelage of the linguist, Professor Henry Higgins, in order to become a lady. This trust, of course, may be somewhat misplaced, as the professor has ideas of his own, and he wagers a bet that he can pass her off as high society. The play is a politely disguised attack on upper-class British societal snobbery and a wry commentary on the role of women, but pardon us if we just go ahead and enjoy the hilarious wit and stylish maneuverings of both the play and musicals. Eliza takes over our hearts with her winsome ways, her determination to succeed against all odds, her hilarious reactions to the ridiculous ways of the upper crust, but most of all, with her sweetly naive belief in the power of plain, human love to effect any transformation. Eliza Harris is a major character in Harriet Beecher Stowe's very important 1852 novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin. She is a sweet, Christian, acquiescent slave who accepts her lot in life, until, oh mama, someone tries to mess with her baby. That someone is her master, Mr. Shelby, who had promised otherwise, but decides to sell her son to an evil slaveholder. Eliza goes into action. Seizing her baby, she makes a heroic getaway across the frozen Ohio River, jumping from ice floe to ice floe, ripping her feet to shreds in the process, but always hoping for the eternal redemption of freedom, which hope is realized. She seems to us to be the quintessential icon of motherhood. Do what you will to me, but don't even think of hurting my child. God bless Eliza. And don't forget, her plight was almost single-handedly responsible for the Civil War. Popular songs on Eliza. A song by Fish Eliza. Famous people named Eliza. Eliza Dushku, actress.